and we are joined by the one of the veterans of the Phillies. He's had a lot of success both individually and as a member of various teams in his career, and he is Kyle Schwarber joining us. Kyle, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Well, it is our pleasure. So, Kyle, an awful lot to get to. Let's just start with this. You guys are moving up soon, up north, obviously. What's been the vibe down here, and how you feel this spring training's gone?
Yeah, I think the overall message and the way that everyone came in is, I don't think anyone's happy how it all ended. And you see what we did in the offseason. We bring in WIP, and that's a really quality player that is kind of undermined in the game, and I think that's going to be a real key pickup for us. And then you're able to bring Knowles back, and you're able to sign up Wheels for 3 more years. When you have that rotation that we have right now, you have the same nucleus of players that have been around here for the last couple of years that have had a lot of success together, and you got a little chip on your shoulder because no one's happy with how it ended. I'm pretty positive the way that everyone felt, fan base wise, it felt 10 times worse for us. And that's kind of that's that thing that we want to hold on to. We want to get back. We want to put ourselves in that position again. And do
you feel like there's a greater focus right now as a team?
Yeah, I can't say greater focus because our focus has been so key every year, right?
Yeah.
Like even walking into 20 and walking in 22, and our focus was get to the World Series. We want to get there and win it, right? Yeah. Like that's our goal every single year. I think everyone, it's the cliche thing to say, but when you have a talented group, you believe that, and you expect it, and we expect a lot out of ourselves, and we want to get it done. When you show up to the bank and it's 43,000 rocking, and you got that on your side, like we want to get it done. We want to go down a parade, right? But it's not easy. God, I'll tell you, it's not easy, man. This shit's not easy, but. When you have all that behind you, that it's just that added gear to you that you hold on to. So yeah, man, it's a really clear focus right now, but we're excited to get up to Philly and for the challenge. I mean, nothing's ever given in this game, right? Nothing's ever given. It's too long of a season. Anything can happen, but we want to put ourselves in a really good position.
Kyle Schwarber here on WIP. Kyle, let's talk about that focus as it relates to the regular season. Because a lot of times when I hear a bunch of you guys talk this spring training, and I love the intensity and the focus on, let's do it. And I think the it means win it all. Prior to that, you have a 6-month journey. And it's a really strange dynamic. In the last 2 years, you guys have gotten thumped pretty damn hard in the regular season by the Braves. And in the playoffs, you thumped them right on back. So as it relates to the division, what is your mindset and your team's mindset with regard to trying to take down the Braves within the division? You've proven you don't have to, but to what extent do you prioritize that in the regular season?
I think the first goal is to win your division. There's definitely goals throughout the season, right? Like, gosh, we do a lot of different things not to have to play that 3-game series in the first round, right? That's stress. Anything can happen in 3 games. Luckily, it's not a 1-game series anymore where, 1 game, move on, right? Anything can happen in 1
ridiculous.
game.
That was stupid.
I mean, it's exciting, like it was exciting, but anything can happen. Yeah. So, not going in and having to play that 3-game set and, kind of getting that little reset breather, I would take that. But, I think the biggest thing is, one, we want to win the division. But at the end of the day, we got to find a way in. You know what I mean? Like it's a double standard, right? Like we want to win the East. We believe that we got a team that can. But at the end of the day, you got to find a way in because you got to give yourself a chance to get to the end.
Do you feel like you hit better when you're leading off for this team?
I think that's like the $1 million question everyone likes to talk about. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't really have an answer. I mean, I can tell you I've hit in the leadoff spot a lot. I've hit in every spot of the lineup before, 1 through 9. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's It's not my decision.
Do you prefer it?
Do I prefer it?
Do you prefer it about the
I mean, I think it's just because I've done it the most in my career, right? Like I've been in that spot the most of my career. I think the biggest thing at the end of the day is where they want me to be, where Tom's, where Dave, where whoever wants to put me, that's where I'm going to be. And if that's the leadoff spot, that's the leadoff spot. If that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's where I'm going to be. The only thing that I can worry about is trying to be the best version of myself to help the team win. Like that's what it's going to be at the end of the day. I can't control anything else. I can only control when I'm in that box or I'm on the bases or when I'm in the field. Those are the things I can control. I control my work in the cage. Those are things that are controllable. What's uncontrollable is things like that. When the ball leaves your bat, that's not controllable, right? Like you do all this prep to put yourself in a good spot, and then it's just time to go out there and compete. And there's nothing else that you can worry about, and you're trying to win a game, right? At the end of the day, that's all it is.
Kyle, do you feel that playing less defense this year, and you probably will, I mean, who knows what happens from an injury standpoint, then things could change, but the idea out of the gate is you'll probably play defense less. Do you think that'll help you be a better hitter?
I mean, I think it'll definitely be an adjustment, right? Like I played a majority defense throughout my career, and now you're going to be, I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid that our best defensive lineup is when you have those guys out there in the outfield, right? But, my job now is, okay, I need to really find out a really good version of me, getting my work in the cage to where I step in the box and be really productive there. But also, too, it's a long season, like we all said. It's a really long season. And if I'm able to give, Trey, Harp, Casty, JT, whoever, Stott, anyone a day off their feet so that they can get their at-bats and we can keep them fresh, that's a goal of mine. That's why, I need to, I'm out here playing left, and I'm trying to, I want to get better. I'm working on things to get better out there. So, we can have that flexibility to give those guys a day to get off their feet for a little bit.
You see that up ahead, maybe playing defense twice a week? Do you think that's in the cards?
We'll see. I don't know. Like I said, wherever that lineup comes out, that's where I'll be. But, that's what I want to do. I think that it's valuable, that if we can give guys blows besides this, if we don't have to give a guy a full day off, you know what I mean? If we can keep a bat in the lineup, that's great.
Kyle Schwarber. Kyle, let's talk about the slow starts, both team and then you individually. So we went through this as a town, not with the team, but with Ryan Howard, all-time Phillies player. And it was, James, every year.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Every year it was a slow start. And we're all like, doesn't make sense. So explain your opinion of how you personally get off to the slow start and then crank it up in June. How and why?
Man, I've mastered the way of digging the 6-foot grave and then being in the movies and climbing trying to fight and scratch claw your way out of it. It feels like.
Does it feel like that
every year?
Why?
Not even here. Yeah. Even this past. I think I've maybe had one good start. From April. It's crazy to me, and I don't know. I think the biggest thing is I'm trying to I try every year to make sure that doesn't happen, right? Then there's things in that. Maybe it's just trying less hard, right? Maybe that's it. Maybe getting that stigma out of the head of, whatever happens, right?
When a golfer gets tense, you think maybe you've over-focused on it and you can't get out.
Yeah, did you watch that guy's golf video the other day? He stopped his round because he had a 100-yard shot in to make the cut because it was getting dark. So the guy goes to the range, and this guy's practicing 100-yard shots all day because he's got to make this chip to make the cut, and then here comes the shot and
flub.
Just push it about 10 feet right? Those are the things that it's you just gotta you're gonna find a way, right? You gotta find a way no matter what. I'm gonna, even if I do start slow, I'm gonna grind it out.
Well, you've proven that.
Yeah,
I mean,
we've seen that.
Right? I'm
I mean,
going to grind it out, right? I got
mid-40s homers one way or the other.
Yeah, but, I do believe that I would like to try to get to a better start, right? I believe that. I believe it every year. And I think the biggest thing is just being consistent with the work in the cage and being comfortable with where you're at. I think that's the biggest thing right now in spring is I'm really hammering down the moves of what I want to do, right? And then now this is the last week of spring. Now it's okay, I got one more thing I really want to hammer, and then I'm going to work on. And, it's competing. Now go out to the game, compete like it's going to be in season, because now there's no more working on things. Once you step in the game one, like we said, we can control everything in the cage. We get onto the field, you compete. That's it. You can't go up there thinking about your hands. You can't go up there thinking about where your feet are, anything like that. You have to think about, okay, this ball's coming at me, and I have to put the barrel of the baseball on that ball and go from there. And if you have those kind of simple keys, right, everything you do, you're locking yourself in for that moment, and then you got to stay in that moment, and that's it.
I heard special things about roulette wheel and Stubbsy on your birthday.
Unbelievable, right?
Can you fill us in? We just had Stubbsy on. I heard there was a magical moment with the roulette wheel and you and Stubbsy.
Yeah, so it was my birthday on March 5th, and we had an off day going into the 6th. And we got a few guys to go to the casino, just have a fun night, and then we're about to leave. It's time to go. And Stubby asked one of our strength coaches before he left the field, he's like, hey, what do you got for me going to the casino? Strength coach says, red 32. That's it.
No.
So he walks out. Stubby walks out. He comes to the casino. He goes, hey, just to let you know, we're establishing this now that we got to put $25 on red 32 before we leave. Mm-hmm. So it's time to go. There's a roulette wheel literally right next to us. And red 32 hit
no way.
4 numbers ago. 4 numbers ago it hit. So Stubby's like, we got to go find a new one. I'm like, dude, come on. What? I'm like, dude, come on. What are the chances that's actually going to happen? This is just a donation. Throw it in and let's go. So he put 32 and 21 his number. And, I'm searching this wheel. I can't find 32 for some reason. I'm like, where is this thing? This thing's spinning, the ball's going, and then all of a sudden you just see the ball stop, and then it's in 32.
Oh,
You're
my
like,
God.
no,
That is unbelievable.
What the heck is going on here? I'm like, I'm going to tell our strength coach he needs to start doing some of that juju for everyone. For everyone.
So did he get a chunk? He
gave him $100.
Nice.
Yeah, he gave him $100. Yeah.
All right, Kyle, I know you got to get out of here in a second because you guys got to get to your working out. Let me ask you one more here. So I heard from someone that knows you guys way the heck better than I do. Told me that the team loves Rob Thompson, loves him. Now, John and I, we had him as a guest on our show every other week last year, and we thoroughly enjoyed the interviews. Seems like a magnificent person. We talked to him earlier today. Can you put into words from your standpoint what Rob Thompson represents for you as a player, what he represents as your manager and one of your main leaders?
It's a great question. I think the ultimate compliment in anything is if anyone were to say something to this guy from across the way, that you would see all 26 dudes hop that rail first, right? I think that's the ultimate compliment,
it is.
Right? So the way that he's able to have a relationship and really care about just the individual, not even the player, just the individual. I think that's a huge thing. You see him. Obviously came in at 22. He was the bench coach at the time, and he's walking around. He's taking care of a lot of different things, making sure schedule's right, talking to players, and then he becomes the manager. And managerial skills are, there's a lot of different things you have to do throughout the day, right? You have to have meetings, you have to have this, you have to that. But this guy still finds time to be at the cage at BP, walk the outfield, talk to every single reliever, talk to, guys, see how they're doing. How's your body feel? Hey, you know what? This is the day that, you're going to play today. You're going to have a day off tomorrow, right? Those are things. And I think the honesty aspect is huge, You know, like if you can be honest with players and, you know, give them the straight up answer, that's how you're going to get the best version out of guys. Is
guys who trust you.
Exactly. You trust, you know what, like say, you know, there's a day that I'm scuffling and, you know, he's going to, hey man, you're all right. Get him tomorrow. All right. Or there's, you know, say I'm scuffling. Hey, Schwarber, you know what? You got today, and then we're going to give you a breather tomorrow. Right? Like that's the honesty part that is big. You know, you're not, you know, keeping guys guessing. You're able to give them what they need to have success. And obviously just
that uncomplicates a lot of things.
It's uncomplicated, right?
That's right. Well, by the way, I think what you're saying probably resonates with millions of people listening. Like I know that as an employee, and I've been an employee here at WIP, but you just want someone to be direct with you.
Correct. Right?
You know, like you might not always love the message, but just say it to me.
Correct.
And then I'll digest it, figure out what it means for me, but just tell me where we stand.
Correct. And I think that's a big reason why you've seen the Phillies the last couple of years have a lot of success, that we're able to have that clear direction where we want to go, and he has a lot of trust in us. And I think that's the biggest thing, you know, that if, you know, say we're scuffling as a team, right, that he believes that us as players are going to make sure that we're in a good space where we need to be. You know, he's going to come in, hey, get him tomorrow, hey, get him tomorrow, hey, get him tomorrow. And then there's going to be that one time when it's, say that we just had some mental errors, right? He's going to step in. He's going to step in and say, hey, we need to clean this up, right? Like, that's a big thing. Like, you realize in this game that there are going to be physical errors, that's a part of the game, you know. But we can clean up, like we said, the controllables, mental errors. Like, we can clean those up. So I think the honesty part, the caring part, and obviously I think you look at the old school factor, right? It's kind of like phasing its way out of the game. And I think it's really cool that we got an atmosphere here, and not just with him. I think it's an overall organizational thing, in my opinion, that we have a really great owner that wants us to bring home a trophy. And he wants to do everything he can in his power to put us in a position to do that. You listen to this guy speak in the locker room, you see how passionate he is. That fires you up every day to come in the ballpark, because you know that he wants you to win. All right, now you go to you know, front office with, you know, head by Dave.
Yep.
Dave's going to do everything he can to put us in a position, player-wise and people-wise, to have success. Then you go down to Tom's and the coaching staff. I think we have one of the best coaching staffs in all of baseball. I really do. You know, I think that you look at Tom's, like we just talked about, unbelievable leader, great people skills, great baseball mind. Then you go to our coaches. You look at, you know, our hitting staff. I think we got some of the best hitting coaches in all of baseball. I think you look at our pitching staff. You see in our pitching coaches that these guys are able to relay information to our pitchers to where, you know, say if they need to make an adjustment mechanically, they're right on it. But they're also too in a pitching, you know, it's not just throwing, it's pitching. You know, they're giving these guys information to the pitch to these guys, not just, hey, let's just chuck it, right? Like, they're trying to give them as much information to get these guys out, which is great. Go to the first base. Paco, outfield coach. Unbelievable. Like, this dude, I've never seen a first base coach who's so engaged with us at first base to where, you know what, he has every pickoff, he has every time to first base that you need. He has, you know, anything that he can to get you at that extra 90 feet. That's huge in baseball.
Sure is, yeah.
Third base, Dusty. Never, like, I know it was said before, but I go back to like 22. It was a play that is kind of undermined where Reese was at second base. I was at third. I think it was base loaded. Infield's drawn in.
A lot of speed on the bases right there.
Exactly. Yeah. JT hits the ball at the middle, and they call obstruction on the fielder.
Okay.
Reese, you know, they made contact, and Reese is going to get thrown out by, you know, 10 feet. And he's literally sending him. and he's yelling, keep going, keep going, keep going, you're going to be out. Like, knowing the game, right? Wow. Like, who's thinking that? Like, if I'm at third base, I'm like, oh, God, stop. Like, you're going to be out.
Right.
But, like,
it's fascinating.
having the mindset and the way that he works with our catchers and the overall knowledge of the game. And then you go to Bobby Dickerson. Like, you look at this guy in the infield and the way that he's able to, like the underrated part of infield, look at tags, right? Like, look at JT's, like, numbers when he throws that ball to second base, and he's trying to get rid of it because he needs to get rid of it quick. And that thing takes a nasty hop, and you see Bryce and Trey make that nasty, even Sos, right? Make that nasty pick, tag, boom, you're out, right? And you see the way that, Alec is taking huge steps in the field, and you see the way that, all of our other guys out there, you're going to see Harp over here at first base this whole year, and I think that this guy could be, I think he could be a Gold Glove winner over there. He's got
Gold
the
Glove as a first baseman.
I think he's got the athleticism, and I think the more comfortable that he gets out there, you're going to see a really good first baseman, a really good athletic first baseman, and you can see that with Trey, and you can see that definitely with Bryson. You know what I mean? That, and even when those guys do come in off the bench, they're ready to rock and roll. It's like they haven't missed a beat, right? So. You look at our coaching staff; it's unbelievable. I don't want to miss anyone because they're so good.
That was comprehensive.
I know
that was an endorsement.
But then you obviously come to our players, right? Like we got such a good group of people who care about each other, and they care about what the city is about, and they care about.
Do you feel like you've helped?
We got to wrap. He's got to roll.
Generate
It's all right. I can talk for forever, but
we appreciate it.
I know, but I think it's like you get to these players, right, and you look around and what we've gone through the last couple of years, and the way that we see the city has embraced us, and we embrace that back. Like we want to take that mindset. We take that grind. Like we said, slow start, whatever. We're going to grind it. We're going to keep grinding until we can find a way. And do we want to get off the better start? Sure. But we got to find a way at the end of the day. Yeah. And that's what we're going to do. And when you have really good people in there, it makes it that much more enjoyable to even walk in the field when you know that everyone around you wants to win. And then now you know that, man, everyone in here is bought into winning.
Kyle,
it's so cool.
Good luck this year.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry.
No,
we love it. Thank
awesome.
you. Kyle Schwarber. He'll be probably batting opening day leadoff in 10 days. Kyle, good stuff, man. Thank you very much.